everybody, it's time to get this special meeting started. Limited agenda tonight. This is a special meeting. I want to make a statement to sort of put things in context right off the bat here. I want to say that no one can take any satisfaction in the situation that brought us here tonight. Everyone makes mistakes, me, you, all of us, but there are differences. Very few hold positions demanding as much trust, confidence, and integrity as the sheriff of Greenville County. A position that commands a force of over 500 trained men and women responsible for law enforcement and the safety of almost 500,000 county citizens. The reported civil lawsuit and the SLED investigation are only part of a larger situation confronting County Council. County Council, through its 12 elected members, also represents the same nearly 500,000 citizens that the sheriff is sworn to protect. It gives County Council as a whole the duty and the obligation to comment and decide whether or not to express its opinion and recommendation on this situation. As you see on our agenda, we have an executive session, and I feel it would be best if we took a motion to go into executive session and to get the legal advice, and then we'll come back out and council members can discuss whatever that they feel like discussing pertaining to this potential resolution. So I'd call on Vice Chairman Meadows at this time to make that motion.
Mr. Chairman, we would go into executive session for the discussion of receipt of legal advice, where legal advice relates to a pending, threatened, or potential claim or other matters covered by the attorney's client privilege, settlement, and legal claims, or the position of the public agency in other adversary situations involving the assertion against the agency of the claim relating to the sheriff's office.
Thank you, Mr. Meadows. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Sir?
At what point, we're skipping item 2, at what point will we be taking up item 2?
Item what?
Item 2. It says Greenville County Sheriff's Office Operations and Administration.
Okay, we considered it item 2 is now on the floor, and I asked for a motion.
But you got a motion to deal with the, going to executive session.
Yes, pertaining to item 2.
Oh, okay. So that's part of item.
Yes, it is. In my opinion, it is.
I read that as being a separate item.
Well, no, that's the subject, and then we're going to executive session to get legal advice pertaining to that item.
Okay.
And with the motion has been made, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The executive session, council members will go out this door and into the next room immediately adjacent to this room through the left-hand door there. And we'll return shortly and resume the open session.
Mr. Chairman, the Greenville County Council went into executive session for the receipt of legal advice, where the legal advice relates to a pending, threatened, or potential claim or other matters covered under the attorney-client privilege, the settlement of legal claims, or the position of the county in other adversary situations involving the assertion against the county of a claim relating to the sheriff's office. And there was no action taken.
Thank you, Mr. Tollison. We're now back in open public session, and
Mr. Chairman?
Dr. Taylor.
Yes, sir. We have a resolution in front of us, and it essentially says that we've lost confidence in the sheriff's ability to fulfill his duties based upon his own confessions, and I move that we pass this resolution.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Before we get there, there's one procedural matter I want to mention to council under our Rule 4A about the committee rule. And before we take up this ordinance, this has not been to committee. We're going to have a motion to suspend the committee rule under Rule 4A of our council rules.
Make a motion we suspend the rules to go straight to this resolution.
Thank you, Dr. Cates. All in favor of the motion to suspend Rule 4A, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, and that rule is now suspended. And your motion is in order, Dr. Taylor. That motion is on the floor for discussion. Mr. Dill.
Chairman, I wanted to go on record as supporting this resolution. I've got reservations, but I'm going to support this resolution because I feel like that I have assurances that on the 7th, when we introduce a request for an audit for the Sheriff's Department, that's going to be paramount in people's minds. So I will support this resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Dill. Any other comments on the motion? Payne.
I would just ask the question if we need to read the resolution or if it's just.
Would you like to read the resolution? You may go ahead.
Well, I wasn't asking to do that.
He can do that. He's good.
Man, you go
I think
ahead.
that's a good idea.
I didn't write it, but I was. So the resolution is a resolution requesting the resignation of Sheriff Will Lewis. Whereas Greenville County Council is deeply concerned by the circumstances related to Sheriff Will Lewis's public admission of his moral failure, infidelity, and personal indiscretions, and whereas the public expects and deserves their sheriff to be a person possessing and displaying the highest qualities of integrity, honor, leadership, duty, and selfless service, and whereas providing for public safety is the foremost responsibility of Greenville County Council, and it is Greenville County Council's responsibility to allocate public funds to the sheriff for the operation of the Sheriff's Department, with the expectation that the public funds entrusted to the sheriff shall be administered properly and directly in providing for public safety, and whereas the South Carolina Constitution establishes the office of County Sheriff and provides that the sheriff shall be duly elected in a countywide general election, and the sheriff may not be removed from office during a term in which the sheriff was duly elected, except as provided for by state law, and whereas the State Law and Home Rule Act directly limits county council authority over the employment status of the sheriff, and whereas, given the circumstances publicly admitted to by Sheriff Will Lewis, County Council no longer has confidence and trust in his moral judgment, which are essential in leading the personnel under his command, and in carrying out his duties and responsibilities of providing for the safety and protection of the lives and property of Greenville County citizens. Now therefore be it resolved that on behalf of the citizens of Greenville County Council does hereby call upon Sheriff Will Lewis to voluntarily resign from his position as a sheriff of Greenville County, done in special meeting this 24th day of October 2017. And it's signed by the chairman and the county administrator and attested by the clerk of council.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. Well done. We have the motion and the reading of the resolution. Any further discussion? All those members who favor the approval of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it's approved by unanimous vote, voice vote on this day, 24th day of October.
I move we be adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.